We'll talk about it afterwards. All right, so the Steve and Beard conversations have to change. uh, the wild planning that goes on before and after shows. The one
I don't know if I'd call it planning,
but the one thing I'll tell you is, and I've told you this over and over. We're starting this one off with some good meat on the bone right to start. Um, if you've done this and haven't built yourself a community of 5, 6 people around you that you can run things by, ask questions about, you know, live on other parts of the country so you can source different things and you can each, hey, we're looking for this. You're looking, you're missing out. Reselling is a lonely gig. If you let it be a lonely gig, and you're talking to 2 introverts here, you're talking to 2 introverts on the internet right now. If it was up to me, okay, so I have a lot of local interaction with Harlan, and it's a lot of it is because Harlan is the extrovert. So I'm very fortunate that he's the exact opposite of me, and so I learned a lot being around that guy. Except for last night, I learned that my hearing is going deaf. We went to see Papa Roach last night. Papa Roach was really good. Falling in Reverse was really good. The Hollywood Undead, they like to took out my hearing. I mean, I enjoyed Hollywood Undead, but man, is that some driving bass. And that's the wildest show if you've never seen Hollywood Undead. There's like 7 or 8 guys in this group, and they used to wear masks. They don't anymore. And there's only a guitar, a bass, and drums. And half the time, half the songs are just one guitar and drums. And you got 3 or 4 guys running around the stage. It's just, man, I've never seen movement on stage like that before. Mark said he saw Papa Roach 20 years ago. Man, dude has a lot of energy. He brought it last night. He was all up in the crowd. He was so close to. He ran all through the crowd. You got to see this. Harlan's got a video. He needs to post it. He was 2 people from me in the crowd. He ended up before I can get the phone out and take a picture. He had already moved forward. But I touched his arm. He was so close. And so there he is singing in the crowd. Because the lighting on the side is where the stage is. This one hell of a mic, a wireless mic that covered that whole damn place. Yeah, they were really good last night. So we hope everybody's had a good week. My week has been kind of crazy. So we started out this week. The thumbnail of the show was "It's Alive." Man. So I launched a course, and then immediately in messing with it, I erased the entire thing. And once I figured out what I had done, so it's just not knowing a Kajabi as a platform. It's a really nice platform. Don't get me wrong. I like it a lot. But the ins and outs until you understand something. Yeah. But the moral of the story is, man, you gotta try new things. You gotta try, I don't regret doing this platform and spending the time. It took me another 12 hours on Sunday to rebuild this thing. I had all the core videos, so that was not a problem. It's just my internet sucks. Uploading 66 videos at 12 up sucks.
Oh, how long did that take you?
12 hours. And I was uploading them 3 at a time.
No, that's
and working on everything else to set it up while these videos were going. Because if I did 4, they all creeped, but 3 was enough that it was, yeah.
Someday you'll be lucky enough to have fiber optic. Someday.
It's at the airport and it's at the neighborhood behind us. That we're like the poor redheaded stepchild that they just said,
Well, we were for a long time too, and they finally. We watched for the truck, and the moment that truck appeared across the street, I knew they were because there's 2 guys who installed the lines for the whole town here. We have our own cable company in town that only services our city, and so they were doing it one street at a time. And for some reason, we're like the main drag here, not the main drag, but pretty close to it. Everybody drives this way. You would have thought we would have got it first, but nah, we were almost last. But boy, is it nice.
Yeah, so the radio station here was celebrating their 23rd birthday, so they sponsored Papa Roach coming in. I think in April we get Shine Down and 3 Days Grace again, so definitely going to that. That'll be the third time I've seen 3 Days Grace. Those guys rock. But it's, you can't be scared to step out of and do things completely different. So does anybody else notice anything completely different? I'll get this a 20-second delay. There's something else. There's two things that should be obvious that are completely different on the screen. And we're still in distress. The easy one. I'm the director of chaos and Steve is.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, so you can add the little bubbles now. And so I guess I'll just make up something every time I go live. I don't know. Today was the director of chaos. I don't know.
I like that feature. That's pretty neat.
So Tactical Z is the first one. I guess he must have a great internet connection. So I've taught myself how to. The last logo was not very good with the skull for printing on anything, much less Steve making the little light. And so I decided, you know what? I taught myself how to do that one. I could teach myself how to do another one. And so went through. I used Canva. There's an affiliate link coming with Canva. I signed up for that, but I don't have it yet. It's a powerful program. There were so many. If you had the pro level, there's so many different templates and stuff you can choose from, and then it's just a matter of messing with it. So that's what I came up with. Something that looks a little more classic. Even stuck a VW van. It's not a Toyota van, but it is a VW van, so that wins, right?
Close enough. Better.
So Phil, this is the shirt from Vegas when I was there in October. I generally grab, if I'm in and out, wherever it is, if they're different. I got one from Vegas, I've got one from Dallas, and I've got one from California. So I generally grab them when I'm through there. No, I should still be wearing Alabama. We're the number 3 ranked basketball team in the land. We came to Houston and kicked your butt. So there you go, Phil. Whether you like the University of Houston or not, they've got a good basketball team. So teachers, step out, whatever it is you want to do in this day and time, you should be able to learn it. You should be able to figure it out. Like I said, if you've got people around you, run things by them. You should have access to, somebody who has a little more experience, like especially in business. John has done a lot more things with Amazon than I've done, especially in building through his, I guess he'd be white label. He wouldn't be private label on a lot of his stuff. And then, the approved drop shipping and building a big company with employees, a lot of stuff that I can ask questions and run things by him and see what he thinks. He is actually couldn't join us this morning. He is gone to pick up Big Bertha, his motorhome. I think he told everybody last week, and he's put it in his group of writing that they are selling their house and they are moving full-time back into the RV and going to tour around for a few years until they decide where it is. I think a lot of it is pressure. This is just me saying, but they spend some time traveling to see grandkids, and I think it would be easier if they, instead of getting there, renting a car and only being there for a few days, if they could roll up and be very self-sufficient and not depend on anybody and say, hey, we're going to spend 2 or 3 weeks visit, that kind of stuff. I think that weighs heavy on him, I believe. He might tell me I'm wrong, but deep down, I think I'm right on this one. Which is
you don't have to leave.
Yeah,
you don't have to leave when you don't have a base of operation. I mean, you can. Your base of operation is your vehicle. I know John really loves the traveling. I'm sure Lori does too.
Man, if you've seen any of their pictures, they put pictures up on Facebook. I think Lori did. Somebody took a picture of the two of them in Vegas last week. John tells you he's lost 50 or he's probably in the mid 50s by now. because they are very dedicated to the diet. But you see the two of them together. Lori has dropped a lot of weight too. Man, pictures, they look really good. I mean, I feel bad that I've only lost 11.
I gained 50.
Yeah, slowly but surely, I'm trying to get this and figure out how to do it and keep it off for good this time. I can lose the weight on keto. That's no problem. It's figuring out how not to go, how to end the yo-yo. That's the, so this one's going down a little slower than it did last time, but that's okay. Lisa, see, you're actually right. They do look like new people, and I just saw them in October. I mean, it's amazing the difference. And they had just started. They were a few weeks into it whenever I came through. So I'm excited for them. Because the one thing I told John, and I told him in person, so this is not a secret. You don't see people his size in their mid 70s. You just don't. And just think about your health, and think about, in your life, how many large people do you see that make it into their 70s? Early 60s and mid 60s, they start disappearing very quickly. So take care of yourself. Do what you got to do. I'm concerned about my ankles and knees. The one beautiful thing about keto, and if you've ever done it, you'll understand, is when you quit eating the sugar, man, the joints and stuff start feeling a whole lot better. All the small aches and pains kind of disappear. It's if I'm an introvert, then when come tell us all about it. I'll put the link out here for you, Tom. I haven't talked to y'all this week, so Todd. So I read something that yes, Biden's wife did kiss Kamala's husband. I don't know what that means. You're watching a TV show. You're watching puppets. You're watching. I got out of that realm. I have no. I just. And for what I do and the shortness that we're here in a blink of time, I'll support the people that are, fighting against it, but you waste too much time. Man, I was an angry person watching that every day. Tom, what up, boy? How are you, sir? How's that breakfast you just finished eating? He can't talk.
Sorry, I had YouTube up. What was your question?
I don't know. It's I was very angry. You guys could trigger me at any point, and when something dominates your life like that and affects everything about you, man, you got to let it go. I only listen to a couple people now, and I don't really. It's not my passion. It's not, if you can deal with it and not be angry and have an effect and like that kind of stuff, hey, more power to you. Make change, go at it. There are a lot of people who are trying to make change right now. Yeah, I'm just kind of living my life. The old dude, Tom, yeah.
Shut up, Todd.
Lag says he or she lag. I don't want to assume your gender there, lag. Mrs. Angry Beard. Yeah.
Referred to
Angry Beard wasn't as happy.
Yeah, pronoun is they.
See, I'm telling you right now, if I hadn't have stopped that stuff, Angry Beard was more consumed with other things. Angry Beard didn't build a class. Angry Beard was there for a whole year. My whole mission with YouTube has been to show my journey and help people, because I feel truly blessed to be able to resell for a living and have gotten freedom from the 9 to 5 and gotten freedom from bosses. You don't know how, 60, 70 hours in a fast food restaurant. You don't know what kind of a pain in the ass that is. Okay, so you're not in the restaurant, you're a district manager. Now you got 7, 8 times the problems. I mean, you don't understand how fortunate if you can do this full time or even part time to afford the things in life you want. And so for me in order for me to build a class and to show, there's a link in the description below, by the way. If you to help people understand how to do this, and create. I'm in the process now trying to create a community of learning and where people can join and find the answers they need, and build camaraderie and meet other resellers that are as serious as they are. Angry Beard wouldn't have done any of that shit. He would still be consumed with
You
Telegram.
would have talked about it.
Yeah, I'd have talked about it. I talked about it. I spent all last year was going to do where I'm at now, and it took me a year to get here. And what's the difference between this year and last year is now when I'm shipping, Harlan was talking about, I listened to the radio station we were at last night when I'm at work. I'm like, well, I'm at work out in the building. If I'm shipping, I'm doing something. I've got a podcast on. I've got something where it's, my favorite one right now is a guy named Rob Dial, the mentor mindset. I'm trying to listen to things that are developmental, uplifting. I'll still listen to, I think Matt Walsh is about the only one I listen to anymore because I like his personality. He thinks a lot like I do. Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire is about the only one I listen to in politics anymore. Him and the crazy one out of Indiana. But that's the two. That's it. No more. I turned Telegraph off. Never looked at it again.
What? I'm sorry.
Telegram. Telegram is a messaging app, and you can follow people. It's like Twitter, but directed Twitter. So you can whoever you subscribe to, that's all you see. And so so it's good that that's all you see, but it's bad that if you put all people who think like you do, or you're looking for the same thing, you never see anything else, and you stay angry at the other side. I mean, it's just so that's
the downfall of those kind of apps and programs. You only see one side of things.
Can Angry Beard come visit sometimes? I'm trying to step on him. I'm trying
one thing I've noticed in the latter, since I started doing my stuff over here is I got to change the damn mindset. Yep. If I keep in that same mindset, I'm going to keep in the same path. So you don't want Angry Beard to come back. Don't let him come back,
So 2023 actually started with a conversation from Harlan. I told him that I was really going to move forward, even as the fourth quarter, and build this class and build something lasting that, can go on for quite a while, and probably build a second one at some point this year. And I don't know, a couple days later, he listened to Tony Robbins or somebody, and he had said, very impactful for, if you want to change things, you got to be willing to step out of your comfort zone and do things completely different. And that has just completely stuck on me for this year. And so I challenge you, as I've written goals out of where I want to be and the things I want to do, I have purposely, sat down and thought, am I stepping out enough of my comfort zone? Am I doing, because I want it to be different. I want to bring influence up in financial support and reselling down. I want to balance, because the one thing I tell you, if you're all on one platform, it does get a little scary if something happen with one account and you can be, impacted very severely. So the one thing that I'm very terrible about is selling myself, selling my knowledge and that kind of stuff. So I'm working hard to do that kind of stuff. Beers turned out to be a Democrat. More like turned out to be a libertarian. I've gone way more libertarian in my approach to things. It's the Democrat would hand it to you for free. The libertarian would show you the way. And I think that's a big difference. Mr. Sadie. Never in my wildest dreams did I think Dusty and Tristan would not be here right now. Never. And then you add Dustin, Tristan, and then Kevin on top of it. He's younger than all of them. Never in my wildest dreams did I think we're over a year past Kevin, Dusty, and Tristan. Significant losses that affect me and my thinking tremendously. I see that they're not with us anymore, and I look at my wife, and Tom will tell you the same thing. I look at my wife who has struggled with health for years and continues to battle. It could be a flip of a switch and she could point. And then I'm sitting here. What have I got left? I'm not spending any time. I'm not continue to develop. We've been together since 1988. and if you let it go stagnant, you get to where you take people for granted. And she's noticed how angry I was last year, and she would just tell me, I don't discuss politics. I don't want to talk about it. I'm more liberal than you. I don't want to talk about it. But it felt like I was alienating her. I mean, you got to change.
She's more liberal than you.
I'm not liberal at all. What are you talking about?
No, did you say she said she was more liberal than you, or you're more liberal than her?
She's more liberal than me. She's more forgiving in her views than I am.
Okay. Well, it's one of the things you got to do too is, people say it all the time, but you got to cut the users out of your life. We've had friends, and they're friends, and they ended up being nothing but users. Anytime you never heard from them unless they needed something, or when I had a truck, hey Tom, come help me move. And it was always drama and always this and always that. And you know what? Most of the time, it's their fault that the drama was happening because, somebody did me wrong. Well, look at what you did. Look what's the whole, when you look at the whole picture, there was more to it than what they're saying. So sometimes you just have to say, I can't take the negativity out of people, especially people that's really close in your life all the time. And you just have to gently push them aside, Yeah.
Because so Bob T says, let's face it, on YouTube, you don't have freedom of speech. You're 100% correct, Bob. And I think that's probably changing. As it'll slowly change, it's not going to change tomorrow, but as they work through this and realize how much the government has controlled it and violated your rights on this platform, I think that'll change. Can I do anything about it? So what what good is if I fight on here and lose what I've worked for on this channel of trying to help people and teach people reselling and build community and that kind of stuff? Have I done anything positive? This is a channel that's reselling oriented. If I wanted to have a political channel, I'd go make one. So the only thing the political chat on this channel did was divide people, and it's easy enough to divide people as is. So that's why I'm done with it. I'm trying to make this where a place that if you need an answer, if you got a question, you want to know a question about reselling, about platforms, about that kind of stuff, throw it in the chat. We'll answer it. It's the way it first started. Do I agree? Have my views changed? Absolutely not. They probably get hardened. But the accepting reality and the fact that constantly blasting that and staying angry, it runs people off. And the impact that I can have on people's lives, because I'm telling you right now, it's a blessing. It's not easy to do reselling. Steve will tell you right now, and he's showing you his struggles. And so you've got to be careful on things, but I'll take the struggles over having a job and a boss any day.
Absolutely.
And that, so yeah.
Well, this little problem I've had that ended up having heart surgery or stents put in, I had no problem, nothing, no signs or anything. And I was sitting watching your show, that Thursday night show, back in the first week of January, I guess it was. And all of a sudden I felt like somebody was sitting on my chest. There was no pain. I thought I had heartburn at first. And then Roberta ended up taking me to the emergency room, and I ended up having a couple of stents put in because I had 100% blockage. If I'd have went and laid down and went to bed, there's a good chance I might have not woke up the next morning.
I'm telling you right now, Tamara, I'm glad to see you in the chat. Be careful driving. She's going to get blood work. Tamara, she's a beautiful example. She's going through a struggle right now. Look at the time. Eventually, she'll see the positive. The time that she spent with her mother, and the time what reselling and what those kind of things and the things they enjoy. She's just lost her mom, and her health took a turn for the worse at the same time. We're glad that that you guys are on the mend. But man, life is short. And do you want to stay angry? Do you want to stay chasing? That's the reason the bigger picture said, do you want to stay angry and working for somebody else? If you've got a true passion in 2023, make your passion your full time. Figure out how to monetize your passion, whatever it is. If it's cars, do cars. If it's cosmetics, there's plenty of things that you can figure out a way to monetize what you love and truly make your life a whole lot happier. Yeah, like 2023, stay angry. There's gonna be a lot of people angry. I think we've got some craziness coming by the end of this year, but
more.
Oh yeah, it's going to get uglier. But I'm just, Harlan, you're 100% right. Staying angry is also bad for your health. It's there. How many studies you got to go read and cite? That kind of negativity. It's, I preach about returns and those kind of things and not letting that bother you, because that, if you're anger and negative that stuff, it bleeds into everything you do. It bleeds into the way you conduct business. It bleeds into the way you treat people, the way you treat customers, the way you outlook. It's hard to get up and go do what you love when you're so dang angry and mad. Let that stuff go. Focus on, there are so many good things in this world, and you've got so many good people around you. Focus on, I watch a creator, the guy, he's on TikTok. He's like a drama teacher. He's got glasses. I think he teaches like first and second grade. And his tagline is "Find your joy." And I think what I see the other day, I didn't do a TikTok yesterday, but the day before, he was telling me that the three funniest things that the elementary kids said to him this week. And he is a very good storyteller. He was telling you each one of them, but at the end of each one of them, he's just laughing. He's like, "Find your joy." And I'm telling you right now, he's 100% correct. Find your joy. Whatever it is.
Especially
Mark has it.
Especially young folks, where you got all this energy and you can do a job if that's what you're doing, and then chase whatever else you want to, your joy is. Don't wait till you're an old man like Scott is.
I know, it's terrible.
Mark has a couple questions in the chat, but you go ahead first.
So I was 25 years into fast food before I was smart enough to figure it out. Be smarter than me. So Mark, you need to figure out, more inventory. See, the one thing that people, especially eBay sellers, want to tell you how many listings they got. I've got so many.
Doesn't
listings.
matter.
And I want to know what percentage. I want to know what percentage of that is sales in 90 days. How much fast turning inventory do you have versus if you're a clothing seller, that number of listings matters because the competition in clothing is great. Daily Refinement Chris, what's the secret? He sells on Whatnot, but what was his secret on? And I think it's thrift. Who's it? Tekken Sports, the other guy who's with him who does the show. Go listen to Tekken Sports. They list 250 items a day. 250 items a day is what they list because they sell 250 items a day. You've got to replace it. Do you have fast selling? How much of your inventory is fast selling? How much of your inventory is slow selling? How much competition is on each of your listings? Understand what you're selling first, Mark, to understand. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm slow." If you're selling bathing suits in the winter, you're gonna be slow. Analyze what it is you're selling first in order to get the answer. Just saying my sales are slow doesn't.
Maybe instead of more inventory, you need different inventory. Maybe you need to learn. I talked about in my last video. Maybe you need to learn a new thing. I'm looking into plush animal stuffed animals because there's a lot of money in those things if you know what you're doing. I don't know yet what I'm doing, but I'm just saying. I ran an eBay store for years and we did fine with 300 listings. It's just because the quality was there. It's stuff people want to buy. So you got to really analyze what you're selling.
Yeah, Chris does sell on Whatnot now. He's not on eBay anymore. Even though I believe they told him he could use his wife's account. I'm not 100%. I could be wrong on that, but I know he's doing very well on Whatnot. He sells a lot of stuff on Whatnot.
Mark, it also could be your pricing. Maybe you're not competitive. Maybe people are just not buying that. He says he's selling Legos. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of factors. You really got to dig in and look at what's going on. Send offers to buyers. I noticed I made an extra $100 last week just sending offers.
So yesterday, if my brother calls, I'll hit mute and take the call from him because yesterday when he called, he's like, you're gonna be glad you answered this call. I'm like, wow, what's up? I tell you this, my brother doesn't resell anymore. There was a time when he was at Amazon, he was close to me, but he's disabled through the military and through work, was back and PTSD and other things that he's been through. And so now if he shows income, he's going to take a chance on losing, so of course he's not going to take a chance on that, but he still goes to thrift stores and carries on because, he likes doing that kind of stuff just like I do. And, buying stuff for himself because his wife works in the daytime. So he's trying to find something to do. And he calls me and says, I'm in a Goodwill. I'm looking at a whole bin full of Squishmallows. I'm like, how many of them got tags? He goes, most of them. He said, do you want them? $1.99 to $3.99. Do I want $90 worth of Squishmallows? Yes. And so, no, plush is a good one. And I sell Squishmallows. I sell some Beanie Babies. I sell other things. Shipped out a Beanie Baby yesterday. Shipped out a Nintendo figure. What was it? Toad, the blue and white hat on him or whatever, isn't it? That stuff sells. So
SM Postcard says he's got 40,000 listings and the sell-through rate is 2%.
Yeah.
But he only sells postcards.
Yeah.
Well, mostly postcards, yeah. And it depends on what you're selling. I mean, your sales through rate might be low like that. Just take a real deep look at what you're doing. That's the process I'm in right now. Is this really what I should be doing?
Mark, so the one thing I would tell you is if you had the 5 or 6 people around you could ask questions, you could send them and you say, hey, look over my store and tell me what's wrong. It could be your titles, it could be anything that's kind of slowing down. So here's a good example. Dave's asleep right now. So, Dave, wake the hell up. It's early on in California. But he's like, let's work. I'm going to help you work the kinks out of your class. So I sent him an invite into it. And we sat there. The one thing that I screwed up was they make you use their website to run things through. They give you a website and they make you run that through their website, but you can link it to yours. And I had read somewhere that you didn't need to use theirs. And so when I deleted the website they had made for me, it crashed everything. But anyway, all right,
I think the one.
I'll work on that.
Go ahead.
I'll work on that right after the class. But and so it was great for an hour. Dave went through everything. Dave clicked this, Dave clicked that, and we went to that website deleting stuff to make it where it doesn't show any. Hopefully, I got most of was it Italian, Latin, something that they use as placeholders. So have somebody look over. Have those people in your life that are willing to give you 30, 40 minutes of their time to look over at no benefit to themselves. They will, freely go, man, let's work this out. That was an amazing of Dave yesterday. I truly appreciate that.
Hey, Mark says he's got 2 new Jurassic Park new sealed cars, but no one bought them, but he's got a ton of watchers. Send an offer. Send an offer to those watchers. Take $5 off or whatever you can afford to take off of that. And I'm telling you, last week I did it twice last week, and the one it brought me in an extra $100. Who couldn't use an extra $100 a week, right? This week I'll do it once a week because I don't want to flood my, watchers with. I think the offers are good for up to 48 hours, so you could do it once every 48 hours if you wanted to. And if you did already and they didn't buy it, do it again. Wait another week or so. Do it again. Just keep doing. If we keep doing the same thing over and over again, we don't succeed. And I've learned that. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, Mark, I saw that. I saw that somewhere where you put on there that you had bought all those postcards. I think it was that you spent a little more money than you wanted to, but you got a ton. Too bad you couldn't get those old ladies to bring it to you. You could have paid them to go pick them up and bring it to you. The watchers are probably other resellers.
Sometimes I've sold a lot of things through watchers though.
Oh, speaking of watchers,
Since I started doing this,
I missed an item last week. One of the items I was watching. Let's see if I've already missed it today. Damn it.
So I think, Mark, you answered your own question. He did a 20% off sale last month and only the good stuff sold, not the trash. Well, there's your answer, I guess. You know, maybe it's the quality. And maybe sometimes something seems like really good quality to you, but nobody else wants it, you know. Or even sometimes when the comps say it should sell, it doesn't. It's because buyer habits change. You got to keep more on a trend.
All right, so there we go. Went in and placed the bid this time instead of forgetting about it. I put my max bid in. If I win it, I win. If not, oh well.
I actually won an auction this week for $4.50. It's not a big money, but I need more of my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle tapes so I can make more lights because that's the only one that's selling. So I bought three on eBay and one on Mercari.
Mark, it depends on the. That's a open Sony Blu-ray player, open box. You know, where are you at in your price compared to somebody else's? You know, are you commanding a higher price because it's open box? You know, you're gonna have to wait for that. So okay. Here's the answer for you, Mark. You don't want to know. You're sounding like you're on eBay. You list that on Amazon, you sell it very quickly. You know, you want to increase your sales. How many platforms you sell on? You know, how many eyeballs? You're dependent on the watchers and what you're going to do on one platform, on a platform that has 5% of the customers that Amazon, another platform, has. Is it cross-listed on Mercari? Is it you know, how are you willing to think outside of the box and try something different? Same thing I'm doing for myself. You can bang your head against a wall. You can do whatever you do to try to get eBay and use promoted listings, and you do everything right. And some reason it just won't sell. Are you getting in front of other folks? Oh, so you do sell on Amazon.
If you're not ungated in Sony, it's hard to, but eventually you will get ungated in Sony if you're selling enough.
So let's see, a BDP S60.
It's a fairly low end player. And that might be the problem too. Maybe it's just not something that people really want. Now, would I buy it cheap enough for new open box? Absolutely. But I see a brand new one for $100 on eBay right now.
Did I get it right?
I see a used one that's only sold for $6. Oh, that's a no remote, but works $6 plus shipping on an auction.
BDP S360. So let's see here. You've got somebody who is very good in the 70 range.
It's not a high-end player.
It comes with original box, manual, remote, and other accessories are not included. So that's just, you can't. So here's your problem. Here's a problem on Amazon. Used like new does not have the remote control, although it has a free HDMI. John Inucci, 12 rating, 75% positive. Like
75%. I wonder why.
That's not like new. See, here's your problem. $99 plus 10. You've got a brand new one for $145.
And they don't do much different on eBay either. $139 for a brand new one. If it's new open box, I'd probably be. I mean, these things don't sell for a lot, even with the boxes.
I would have that like $119 free shipping
on Amazon.
Yeah.
On eBay, you're going to have to be around the $75 range, I bet you.
Yeah, that's definitely a pricing issue on that one.
Or even lower, because even the new ones, some people are struggling to get $100 for them, brand new.
Most used Blu-ray players I sell $69 to $89. I buy a lot of. I shipped 2 last week, or 1 this week and 1 last week. Most of them, and let's see, this is going to break my heart to tell you, Sony sells, but if you're talking Blu-ray players, I sell 3 Samsungs to every one with Sony. Samsung dominates the Blu-ray player market. I sell a lot of Samsung Blu-ray players before I sell Sony, except there's one Sony model. It's like the S. Do I have one right here? It's a little bitty one. I think I get like $65 for it. Most of the time I find it for little to nothing. Usually it's $5 to $7 because it looks very innocent, but it's a network, and it's got network plugs in the back, and so it'll run Netflix and everything. It's an itty bitty thing. People like the size of it. But I think I sell it for $64.95 or $64.88 something. But yeah, the Amazon thing, Mark.
Also, just because Scott says Sony sells doesn't mean all Sony sells. There's some Sony out there that I've bought in the past that just doesn't. Depends on what it is. Now, I don't buy a lot of Blu-ray players because there's not a lot of money in Blu-ray players generally.
On eBay.
Now, some Sony ones are on eBay, yeah. And I don't sell a lot of used stuff on Amazon. I'm scared to do it. I don't know why. That's another thing that needs to change. Getting over those fears, but
I'm telling you, man, I have sold so much used, and the return rate on used is identical to new. I've seen no different.
Let's ask Mark a question.
They do add
how much,
go ahead.
How much you got into that Blu-ray player? You got $5 into it?
Maybe 10.
What? Yeah, I mean, do you want to hold out for the highest price? If you do that, it might take a long time to sell. So he got in a bundle with a Sony home theater system. Think of how much you have into it, and start maybe thinking about going through your pricing and seeing where you're at with that stuff. You don't have to get top dollar for everything, and you don't have to even get a little bit below top dollar. You can get mid dollar and still make a good living. Now, a lot of people think that my advice doesn't matter because I'm going through some troubles. Not on the eBay side, I'm not. I still sell really well on eBay. Just that I'm not selling enough to keep up with the mistakes I made. But $20 into it, that's, think of where you want your profits to be. I'm sorry, sweetheart. My wife sold a lunchbox this week, and she said one was listed for $80, and hers was listed, but it hadn't sold, and it hadn't sold for a long time. And I said, and she sold hers for $20, and I told her I would have listed it for more, and now she's upset with me.
See, the one thing I would advise you to do is to look at Keepa. You've got one item there's only 3 sellers. There's 100 and you're at the top. You and another guy are at the top. You're only 2 new ones there. It says there's 46 drops a month, but 18,000 in video games is getting up there. And video games that move quickly are under 10,000. I don't believe the 46 drops a month. There hasn't been 46. How do they come up with 46 drops a month when there's only 2 counts? And I can count 1, 2, 3. I can count 5 drops in the last 90 days. There's only 5 drops. How do they say there's?
It shows you not to depend on things like that. Use them, but don't depend on them.
Yeah.
No, I'd probably be in the $70 range with that thing on eBay just to get it moving. Get it going. But that's me.
Trying to see what it's worth on eBay.
Most of them don't sell for much more than 40, but those are used.
No, there's 16 new ones. Let's see how much.
I didn't sort. I just...
About the same price. Completed. Where are you?
$70 brand new. No, it's not open box. It's brand new.
Yeah, somebody did 99. Brand new 44.95. Brand new
50 for one brand new plus shipping.
Yeah, so understand.
That's your issue.
So it talks about pricing, and pricing on Amazon there is a phenomenon out there, and sometimes I'll fall victim to it or not. You look at what the last thing somebody sold was and think, man, that's the last thing it sold. I'm gonna sell all of mine for that price or whatever I've got. And that was a unicorn price. It was probably you got one person willing to pay that, and then the general public is not willing to pay that much for an item. And then so you look at it and think, man, it sold for this. I know I can get it. That's why I tell everybody. I used to say a lot more. I don't say it as much anymore. I call eBay the truth teller. And so if I have something listed on Amazon, I want to stay within 25% to 30% of the price, the last sold price on eBay, because eBay, you actually see sales. You're not dependent on somebody to interpret an up and down on a chart or any of that stuff. You're looking at, does eBay show you 100% of sales? They don't, because people can hide their completed. But you're at least looking at it. You can go on January 11th, somebody paid $90 brand new for this Blu-ray player. And so if I'm staying within $25 of that, that's 119 or whatever. That's evaluate pricing on Amazon. We have a bad habit of going, and I've got some items up there right now. I'm the only one on the list, and I just found them the other day. Man, maximum price was $19, and that's where I put them. I hadn't sold a one. Great rank, 30,000 in health and beauty. And I'm sitting there looking at them like, why have these not sold? I should have sold out by now. I found 5 of them. But the product was only $1.65 in the store. So I am 15 times the price. Even though it's out of stock everywhere and nobody has it, I don't think they make this stuff anymore. If they do, who knows why? So I'm probably going to lower the price today. Instead of $19.99, I'm probably going $14.88. I'm gonna lower the price significantly so that it, some of the reasons I'm not selling some stuff is me pricing wrong.
Yeah, Mark, you can put individual items on sale on eBay. I'm sure of it. When you set up your sale, you can. Mm-hmm. I don't do a lot of sales. I send offers now, but I need to start doing this stuff too, because I need to increase my income. And the only way I can do that is to change the way I do things. But I believe, yeah, you can select items when you set up a sale. Yep.
So none of us are selling anything except for Todd. Todd is selling. Good job, Todd. So if you go on YouTube and show everybody the backside of your hand, you'll start selling stuff on eBay. But it's, this business is to learn everything and to be able to, we put blinders on. It happens to everybody. I'm guilty of the exact same thing, Mark, that you're doing right now. A little high price on items at max price. Could you sell it for max price? Absolutely. Be prepared to wait. And yeah, I get impatient. I'm not prepared to wait. I'm ready to.
I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to run a sale while we're right on here, and I'm going to select items to put in that sale. I'm going to run a 10% off sale and see how it does. I have a I think it's a DVD player. It's got the box and everything. Hasn't sold in a long time, so I'm in that same boat with Mark. I'm keeping my price too high is all it is.
Tamara, that is such a great comment. I never, because you could run sales based on category. That's an amazing, Mark. There's your idea right there. For y'all, for the admission price that we paid today for this show. If you're an eBay seller, everybody should have a clearance category and run stuff that you want to get rid of. Put it on clearance and run crazy sales on it. That's comment of the day, Tamara. That is. I'm actually gonna do that. That's a great idea. Why? If it's so successful in stores and clearance sections and that kind of stuff, why do you not have one on eBay? That's a great idea. Clearance is our second category.
I mean, just that word clearance makes people think discount. You know, whether it's really a discount or not, it doesn't matter. It's a mentality thing.
Well, Todd, I'm glad you got that package of underwear. There you go.
I got a lot of things I could put on sale: hats and DVD players. And
so the one thing I would tell you is the one thing you can learn from Amazon. And Mark, here's my suggestion for you: is to learn from Amazon. What's Amazon doing right now for IPI and for inventory storage and all this stuff? Their goal is to have you to sell it in 90 days. So you should be tracking this stuff. Everybody goes in the custom SKU on eBay. That's where you put the inventory. No, that's where you can put whatever the hell you want to put in it. Put the inventory and put the date you listed it, because you can go back and look at it, but make it easier on yourself. Make it to where you can see it very easy. And then at 90 days, throw it in your clearance category and start discounting and get it out of there. Get your buying budget back in order to buy more inventory. I stuff that'll move faster. Chances are, if I'll show you what I pay for Blu-ray players.
Going through it, boy, there's a lot of stuff that, as I'm sitting here looking down this list, I haven't seen these things in a long time. They need to go. So
this one sells pretty good on Amazon. It's a Samsung. I think it's a 79. This is a J50 something. I don't know. It's just, it come with the remote and an HDMI cable. I got it 25% off. $6. So I paid $4.50 for a working Blu-ray player with a remote. This thing okay, so this thing will ship in the free boxes that Scott Condon gave me. Condon, are you listening? I appreciate that, man. He had a bunch of boxes that he wanted to get rid of, and he was coming this way. He's like, "You want to take them?" I'm like, "I'll take as many as you want." He goes, "Are you sure?" He's like, "I'm gonna fill my van up." I'm like, "I don't care, bring them." Well, one of them happened to be 14 by 10 by 4. Man, that thing fit. The one thing about a Blu-ray player from Samsung, they're small. This thing fits in those boxes. So it ships cheap. It ships for $10 or $12. It cost me $4.50. It came with a remote and a cable. And if right now, if I looked on there when I list this today, if they're selling at $79 on Amazon, I'll put this one at $69. I'll be prepared to get rid of it. That's an easy one. But it's, learn. Amazon is very successful. They're wanting to have their people turn inventory and turn sales. Man, the clearance category, man, Tamara, that's awesome. Make yourself a clearance category. Track your items by so Beard, I've got more unique stuff. I need more time to sell. I don't want to do 90 days. Do 180 days. Do whatever it is that works for you and your business. But have a system. If John was here, he'd be telling you over and over, processes and systems. Have a way you do it. And so, you don't have to have anybody look at your store, because that you're aggressively pricing. And at 90 days, there's all kinds of ways to do stuff. So I've been messing with John over the last night. So if you guys, what's John's? Rad Relics. He's an eBay seller. Funny guy. He posted something on there about the best American-made sports car was the Corvette. And I'm like, dude, it's the F40 from Ford. It's the Ford GT40. And then he told me that was too Italian. And then I picked out some expensive other. I've been messing, but so he has a system. First 2 weeks, or he puts the item up without any discounts, without any making offers. At a couple of weeks, he adds the make an offer, and he does other things to start. So that's his system. Whatever system works, understand it can work for you. Just have one. I think it would be great if you had the time and the ability, put in a custom SKU, make it, do your listings every 2 weeks. So every Monday, all the items that were listed this week, you add, bulk add, buy it now, and then put them on promoted. And then at a month, you reduce the price 10%. At 2 months, you reduce the price another 10%. At 90 days, you throw it in your clearance and cut it down to whatever you want to do it. Have a system in place in order to move inventory, and I guarantee you your sales will go through the roof. if you're aggressive in your price and you can still sell it right at the price. You don't have to sell it cheap. You know, if I've got a $69 Blu-ray player and I cut 10% off of it and I sell it for $63, has that killed me? I've got $4. I got $4.50 into it. I'm gonna ship it. Okay, max price shipping is like $13. So I got $17.50 in it. You're gonna throw fees of, I don't know, let's say $25 all in. And I got 64 instead of 69. And is the world gonna end? Tom fell asleep? No, he didn't fall asleep.
No, I'm looking for something for the doctor's office that called just a minute ago. Sorry. I was listening.
So there's a good one. Now have a so here's Jay's model. You know, Mark, I challenge you, and this is a great conversation. I appreciate your questions. You know, this is what Jay does. You know, I would tell you I like Jay's because not everything. So what did I sell? I sold this crazy thing. It's called an anemometer. Has anybody heard of an anemometer? It measures temperature and wind speed. So I walked up to a yard sale and all this stuff laid out on the table. And I look at it and I'm like, that thing's weird. It's still new in the package. And it's one of those packages that's plastic. It's got cardboard on the back. It kind of slides out and you can get the thing out. And I'm like, it's $1. I'm like, it's weird. You know, what's it worth? I scan it on the back. That damn thing scanned for $150. $150 Amazon price. Amazon, not just some third-party crazy reseller. We're talking Amazon. Was I greedy? Did I want to beat Amazon? I cut Amazon by $20. It sold in 3 days. Could I have made the extra $20 and waited whatever? Man, to hell with that. I got $1 in it. $1.
Didn't you feel guilty? Didn't you feel guilty ripping those people off?
Damn right I did. I sobbed myself asleep last night. My ears are hurting and I cheated somebody. Dear Lord, please help me. That's what I said.
Because that's what a lot of people say. You go to yard sales and you find stuff, everybody, not just you.
But you're going to have that home run item, how you deal with it. If it's something that say you found something rare, but you can't even find a sale on eBay the last year or 2 years with whatever it is, and you've got to go to WorkPoint, and you saw that one sold for 4 years ago. You've got $10 into it, and it sold for $500 or $600. You got to be prepared to wait. You need some of those items. I'm not telling you, Mark, to treat every item the same. I'm telling you that you need 10% on each. You need 10% that you're just going to say, hey, I'm going to make a fortune on, and the rest of it. I missed a question. I missed a comment by Mark.
I think it all depends on how you want to run your eBay business. If you're okay with taking top dollar for everything and waiting, if you got some other source of income, go for it. But if this is your main source of income, you better be selling.
So Mark, I don't have a lot of large. My largest item is a printer. And can you see some of them back there? They're on those shelves back there. They just sit on the shelves. If I have large items, I buy a lot of big stuff. I bought a set of shelving this past weekend at a yard sale. I took it to the auction. Anything I've got big goes to the auction. Did I win? Y'all didn't remind me. Did I win the eBay item?
Oh. Geez, I'm finding duplicate items while I'm doing this. So
13 minutes. I'm still winning. Woohoo!
I wonder why sometimes I sell more than one of something. It's because I have duplicate items in my listings. That is not good.
It wasn't.
I don't know how that happened.
It was not Papa Roach. It was the Hollywood Undead blew my ears out. Everybody else was kind of quiet after they came. I mean, that was some serious driving bass. I mean, I enjoyed them. I never heard them before, but yeah. But it's approach this. You've got to understand. When are you going to make the transition? John would be screaming right now. You've got to transition from a hobby seller. You've got to treat this like a business. That means business policy. That means practices. That means treat your inventory like it's a widget. Don't fall in love with your inventory. It's a widget. It's a widget. Have an acceptable percentage. That Blu-ray player. You know, I'm 100% return on these things. I won't go on a used item. I won't go less than 100%. I try to want 200%. A $4.50 Blu-ray player selling. If I sell it for $64, I'm going to get what 5-6 times my money back after fees, after everything. So understand your numbers. Understand where you are. That's a good example right there. That Blu-ray player, understanding that even if you sold it for $40. On the $4.50, you still made almost $15. That's still profit of 3 times your money, not just selling 3 times your money. Understand what your numbers are. Understand what you can sell it for. Understand if you want to sell it faster. Beard, I put mine at $49 because I know that I just made $25. I wanted this thing gone. I picked it up to sell it and be done with it.
Yeah, one thing too is maybe, and if a person's not wanting to make this a full income, if they're wanting to make enough money to pay for cruises and trips to Italy and that kind of stuff,
underwear, yeah.
That's and that packs up new underwear. That's okay too. Do what you want to do. But, you might find out that if you ramp it up a little bit, you can take more than one trip a year and not have to wait so long to take it, or that trip to Italy or whatever.
Do I go to thrift stores? I was in one yesterday. I bought a children's microscope and 5 pairs of shoes. And they are all going to I must have got outbid because it says bid to win. Let's see. Why do you send me an email saying bid to win when I'm leading this damn thing with 9 minutes ago? So I was in one yesterday. All those items go to auction. That's my next question, Mark. Do you sell locally? Have you looked on Auction Zip? Have you looked on High Bid? Have you found a consignment auction? Is there something in your area? Another way that I go to thrift stores. A lot of that stuff goes to the auction.
Speaking of thrift stores, Mark says his are awful. Well, might have to travel a little farther. That's what we've been doing lately. Ours are awful. So we go over towards Cleveland now. We don't make it to Cleveland, but we go that way.
I heard Cleveland rocks.
I'm sure people that live in the Charlotte area say our thrift stores are good. Our Goodwills to me suck around here. The chain store, thrift stores, they just, they have people to list on eBay and sell on Amazon and, that type of thing. When they can get, like you said, $40 for a Blu-ray player, selling it online, and instead of just getting $5 in the stores. And, I would go to the local mom and pop thrift stores and find stuff. But like our Goodwill sucks. They never have anything because they have people that resell it.
I've found though that it depends on the items. Like if I'm looking for a lot of DVDs and stuff like that, none of them are above $3 or $2. None of the thrift stores.
We don't have stuff on the shelves. They just don't have stuff on the shelves. I don't know whether I'm not there at when the door opens and people are buying everything out, but they don't have a lot of, and we have so many daggum Goodwills. I guess everything's spread out, but
I'll have to go to Charlotte and thrift and see what it's like down there.
Well, if you do, let me know and I'll buy you lunch or dinner, whichever.
Right. Well, we're not that far. We go down to Hickory area,
Do you?
Morganton,
When do you get a
twice a year.
When do you go to Morganton?
My wife's mother lives there.
Do my Roberta is from Old Fort, Marion,
Okay.
right on down the I-40 from Morganton.
Yeah, I've thrifted in Asheville. I like it there. There's a lot of stuff there. I've thrifted in Hickory, in Morganton, that area, Lenore, all those areas. I do pretty well down there. But like here, you go into Goodwill, you're going to find a pair of shoes now and priced at $25. Well, they've lost their core market.
Right.
You know, the core market is thrift, cheap. And eventually things will turn around. I see this cycle all the time. I watch Flippin' Junk a lot, Wick. And you can see the cycle. If you watch his videos, sometimes the shoes are really high, then they'll start lowering down when they don't sell. So there's going to be a cycle. It'll come back around eventually.
So you need to drive to the middle of the state and go to his thrift store in Goodwill.
He's got some stuff.
I figured out where he
He's
lives.
got some stuff.
Go hit his stuff.
Well, I know where he lives. Well, I know the general area.
The shoes and whatnot. We have a boutique. Our Goodwill has a boutique up there or did up by the bins out by the airport, and all their designer stuff and high priced clothing goes out there because it looks like you just walked into a mall store out there. And
they tried that here, and it lasted maybe a month. The boutique, it wasn't.
Still winning, 5 minutes to go.
But I'm telling you, there are things out there. If you start learning new categories, yeah, I know he lives in Dayton. If you start learning new categories, even these Goodwills aren't going to plush high. Well, they some of them do, by the way. They price high. I went to a Goodwill the other day that priced plush at $12 a piece. Well, then you just don't shop at that particular Goodwill because you know that they have somebody in the back room who thinks they know what they're doing, and so you just wait until they change their mind, or because nothing's selling, or you go somewhere else. But VHS tapes, there's a lot of money in VHS tapes nowadays. If you know what you're looking at, study the market. You can go to any thrift store and buy a VHS tape for $1 or less. Some of them are $5 for $1.
So Taylor's Place mentioned the name. I wish I wrote down his address because Dusty tracked him down to his house.
I suppose if I knew Wick's real name, I could do it. But
Dusty tracked Wick to his house. That was awesome. Yeah.
I'm not sure I would want to, but it could. I used to be really good at that stuff. You spoke earlier in the show about things that consume your mind and, like politics. Well, for me, it was the Bigfoot stuff, and that's why I don't do it anymore. You can't change people's mind no matter how. I was a skeptic, so not a skeptic, but that's the role I played. I debunked videos and things like that. And my YouTube channel was great, and I was making money doing it. But you know what? It wasn't the right thing for me. So we moved on. But yeah, stuff like that. So I used to be a pretty good investigator and could find background information on people.
Marion has a Bigfoot.
Yeah, I went there and saw their Bigfoot stuff. they got Bigfoots on buildings, and yeah, it's funny.
But
I think they had a Goodwill there. I went to,
yeah. They have a new one.
Yeah.
VHS for me has been bad. I got a new sealed hard. Only sold one after a year. I would challenge you just again because
I sell them all the time.
What's your pricing on that? How high are you? What kind of premium are you demanding for new?
Here's one. I'll show you one. This is not new sealed. This is WrestleFest 96. This thing sells for $40 just because of what it is. Yeah. Now, only a couple have sold in the last few months, so it's going to be long tail, but it will sell.
You got a quarter in it?
This one is $1.11.
Damn, you overpaid.
Yeah.
It might have been Dusty, but he's when he was looking through VHS and stuff like that, he always looked for, these slasher movies that are on VHS that never made it over to DVD. And he said,
That's part of the key.
He would sell those suckers like there was no tomorrow.
Well, right now people are getting VHS tapes graded, and you saw what was it, a year during the pandemic? Sports cards went crazy. They're back to normal now, for the most part. But right now it's the VHS. It's speculators who think that this is the next big thing. Well, if you can sell these items cheaper because you didn't get them graded to these speculators, you're gonna make some money. And all you got to do is find out what they're looking for. And how do you do that? My wife came up with a method where she sits down every day, types in one type of item into eBay every day, and just looks at all the solds. That's all you really got to do. Research. She doesn't sort them high to low. She just looks to see what's sold. And that's what I started doing with the plush, and I'll start doing with the VHS tapes. Once a day. She spends an hour a day doing that. And it's expanded her knowledge by a lot. Pick a category, start looking.
I was checking.
I sell VHS tapes for a minimum of $10 if they're sealed. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but they can ship media mail, so that's $3.89 or whatever it is.
So how did you come up with that price? People are getting $10 used for this thing. So they
What thing?
For Seed People, the VHS, you can get the DVD for $27 new sealed. How did you come up with $100 over $100
categories
for a VHS?
She looks at K.
No, I'm talking to Mark.
Yeah.
I can't find one sold new. For $18, somebody got the new DVD.
So what he says is he saw a comp last year where it sold for $100. We got to keep checking on that stuff, and maybe that's why you're having issues with your store. Is if you're not going through things on a consistent basis, and I don't do it either. So I've started doing it, but if you're not going through on a consistent basis and looking, there's going to be a lot of things that are just going to sit around.
I keep having people, they'll get in their Facebook feed. Disney Black Diamond VHS sold for $50,000. And they'll email me and say, "Is this legit?" I said,
"No.
It's just my opinion." And like everybody else, I have one. That was somebody that was laundering money or something like that. So,
Barney VHS tapes do well, by the way.
Yes. See, the seed people, I don't understand, Mark, because the key is, we saw something. The key is it's not on DVD. This movie, even though it has a cult following, is on DVD. You can buy brand new DVDs for cheap. So
your market's a lot less because of that.
Your pricing on that is way off.
The thing is, if it came out on DVD, people who just want to see the movie are going to watch it on DVD, or they're going to steal it off the
Here
internet.
it is, $14.98. Importcds.ca. 200,000. This is from Canada. They've got 200,000 feedback. They've got two available.
Mark, I think you need to sit down and learn how to read the solds. And don't just look at solds. Scott taught me a long time ago, look at completeds too.
Completed.
So don't just click that sold button when you're looking at this stuff. Click the completed button. It changed everything I do when I started doing that. Because if you just click sold, it looks like things sell like crazy. But if you click completed, then you see all the black in there, which means it didn't sell.
You see that it has like a 600% sell-through rate.
Yeah, 600%. I wouldn't just say sell it for $10, but look at what people are doing. Terapeak is a good tool.
I tried to copy paste that.
Look at what the average sold is today. It may have been worth $100, or somebody might have got $100 at one time. Markets change. I held out on some of these baseball cards that I bought. Shouldn't have done it. I should have sold them at the peak. Now I got to wait another 20 years before they peak again, or sell them now. Anybody want baseball cards? I got a ton.
We're determining the winner. Please refresh the page.
If there's anybody who's local to me and wants baseball cards, I've probably got 20, 30,000 of them. Let me know and I'll sell them to you cheap. I just got to get them out of the house. There's a few that I want to keep, but most of them can go.
I was the winner.
Mr. Sadie, I'm glad you remember that, but that's sad that you remember that.
I do want to clarify when I said that my wife types in an item in the chat or in the search, she types in a category. So if she wants to know what jeans are selling, she doesn't sell those, but she would type in, go to the jeans category and just go through and see what's selling. And she sorts by latest. So what sold today and then back 90 days.
It's been 100 years ago, it seems like, but I had McDonald's used to make videos with Ronald and all the characters from when they did all the characters. And there was like 6 or 8 of them, I believe. And good morning, Beth. I had one that was in sealed packaging. And I sold it, and it sold, I guess it was like $30. And the person messaged me back and asked me if I had any more of them. And I said, yeah, I've got some. But they don't play because my kids have watched them so much. They watch, they wore the tapes out. And I said, but they've got the boxes on them and whatnot. And he said, well, how much do you want for them? And I said, make me an offer. And I think he paid me $20 for just, basically a case and the box that was in it. Because he collected McDonald's stuff, and he did not even know that they had the movies. And I don't know whether they were in Happy Meals or you know what, they're just a promotional item or what. Scott, you didn't work for McDonald's, did you?
A little bit.
Do you remember them, or was that before your time?
I don't remember VHS tape.
But
I slightly remember them now that you say it.
But he just wanted the boxes for the display, for his collection, not necessarily that they worked. They were cute. They had a family friendly.
Yeah, what I remember is when I was there, we sold like the Back to the Future VHS. There were some VHS tapes that we sold that were promotions in the early 90s, but which were a pain in the ass. But yeah, not the Visitors from Outer Space and all those other ones.
Right. But they anyway, that just popped into my mind. I went and looked to see if there's a few people that still got some for sale. But just because they don't work, if it's, there might be a collector for them. Especially these off the wall.
Yeah, I'm sure that's lag. Lag is returning used underwear on me.
And Anissa never says anything bad about anybody, and she's accusing him of doing that.
All right, so Mike, explain the difference between sold and completed so any of you new folks out there, hey, welcome to the channel. I'm glad you've joined the craziness. So on eBay, you can filter by 2 things. You can filter by completed. Completed shows you every listing that's ended. And then you can, or filter by sold. Sold shows you every item that's sold in the last 90 days. Both of these are in 90 days. So the reason why I do, you can do them both. So if you want to know the sell-through rate of the completed listings, if you click completed and there is 100 completed, and you click sold, and there are 90 sold, it's a 90% sell-through rate. And so it helps you to understand, we're talking about this VHS tape, whatever it is, see people. If you look at that and realize that they're still going, the completeds are very little, and the solds are So there's no new souls, and there's like 2 or 3 used VHS souls. That's it. So even with a, you could look at it and go, man, there was only 3 available and 3 sold. That's 100% sell-through rate. That's only 3. There's still some listed. There's still some new ones. So you've got to look at how many are available now, how many of them went through their sales cycle and didn't sell, and how many of them actually sold. Those are the 3 things you really look at in evaluating an item to know how fast it's going to sell for you. Because the one thing on the new, you want to know how many are there. Are there 100 people with this VHS tape?
I had a promotional copy of some television show on VHS one time, NCIS or something like that. No, it wasn't NCIS, but it was one of those crime shows. Can't remember right offhand. I thought I was going to get rich off of that thing because it was a screener copy. They sent it to the television station. It's never supposed to be sold. It's supposed to be destroyed or sent back to the company at the end. Guess what that thing's worth? Nothing. Just because you think that something's good doesn't mean it's good. I still have that thing like for $150, thinking it was something. Am I cutting out on you guys?
No.
Okay. I don't know. Every once in a while, my thing flips off and I don't see anything.
Here's your biggest problem, Mark, with C people. The Amazing Express. They have 61,000 ratings on Amazon. They will sell you this DVD brand new for $7.89.
I learned with DVDs, especially on Amazon, you have to be. I don't care what your rank is, and the sell-through rate, because Amazon could put it on Prime at any second.
Amazon
people will watch it there.
Amazon's in at $7.99, and they have a 5-order limit, so there's no telling how many of this DVD they've got. Oh, and here's a good one here. You go look at Keepa. The last 3,900 day, it is rare. 3,700 day, it is rare. Amazon looks like they were out for a few months, but in the last 3,700, that's 10 years, folks. Amazon's been in stock, and the price new has never gone above $9. Oh, I'm sorry, 11. There's an $11 a few weeks. In 2021, when everybody was at home watching DVDs. But as soon as everybody went back to work in 2022, or the people that were going back went back, you're back to $7.99. Amazon's been new on Amazon for the entire year of 2022 at $7.99.
It's sometimes just researching on one platform isn't going to give you anything either. I do a lot of Google searching to see if something has sold in the past, and that Terapeak is a great tool if you have a store subscription. It's wonderful now that you can go back 2 years. It's wonderful.
Scott, how many platforms do you sell on?
eBay, Amazon, Facebook Marketplace, local auction.
You're not Poshing or any of that kind of stuff, Prairie Dirts or whatever.
This right here is my fashion sense. I have on an In and Out t-shirt.
They're moving to Tennessee, aren't they?
They are in the next few years. And I'm wearing cargo shorts. That's my fashion sense. and only 90% of the time, if you run into me, I'm wearing a pair of Merrells. I'm wearing black Merrells with shorts. Yeah, I'm a fashion faux pas. Now, the big news in Alabama is so in Tuscaloosa, there is a local taco store or taco chain. They've got like 6 or 7 locations. Taco Casa. If you've ever been to Tuscaloosa and any length of time, you know Taco Casa. They have 1 or 2 outside, like in Birmingham, and that's it. None others. And they announced, like in the last couple of days, that they were going to expand to Huntsville, Montgomery, and Mobile. Bring on Taco Casa, you suckers, today. So I've never owned a pair of Crocs, Tamara. Oh my God! Can y'all hear that howling?
I can hear it.
Phoebe, she goes over there and barks at the dogs next door. and barks at the dog and barks at. And when nobody's outside, she goes over there and howls. That's her over there howling right now to see if anybody's outside.
Is she wanting the other dog to come out?
No, Dixie's right there. They're outside. Our dogs are outside. That is a serious angry little dog. Phoebe is always, she always looks like she's mad at the world. And
Female.
Okay.
she will run right part way to the fence because she doesn't want to get too close to the fence. So she'll stop like 2/3 of the way to the fence and bark and carry on. And here comes Franklin bouncing and hopping around her. He's just running around the fence. He's doing whatever. Never barks, never says a word. He's just carrying on. Dixie Belle and Phoebe just giving him hell. And here's Franklin just running around in circles like, la-di-da.
He's a boy. He don't care. He's just having fun.
Frank, come here, buddy. Everybody wants you to say hello. Come on. Come here, boy. Come here, boy. What are you waiting on? What you waiting on, Frank? See, she's over there barking, and you just come in here and see what I'm doing. You know, right, Frank? Everybody wants you to say hello.
He's spoiled.
Say you're not wasting your BDE on barking at the neighbors, right? Nope.
You got him spoiled rotten.
His mama does.
Well, you just let him wash your lips with his tongue, so that's a lot right there.
He got me in the side of the nose. Get him.
Well, Scott, thanks for having me on with you. I've got to go pick up some paperwork from the doctor's office. So,
okay.
Y'all have a great day. Everybody in the chat, have a great day.
Say, I'm the best little dog ever.
Let me know when you come to North Carolina.
May, Mother's Day.
Mother's Day?
Yep.
All right. Scott, Harbor's Hope has an eBay question. See you guys later. Thanks again.
That would be a no. I think it knows the change and it might give you a little bit of something, but it'll give you a little bit. It does not recognize a new listing. The only way is a new listing is, an update of a price gives you a little bit of a change or something. You got to relist them. And he's gone.
He's gone. He gone.
Yeah, I need to put a doggy door in this building so I don't have to leave the door open all the time. So that's Ron, just relist. Hey Alan, thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat. The thrift store clothing fund. That's awesome.
Very nice.
So that's generally where I buy. If I buy anything, I did buy a t-shirt at a yard sale last year. I haven't worn it yet. I'll wear it next week. Don't worry. It's a good one. You should have seen. So I guess the generation behind us, they don't care what they put on t-shirts. We saw some interesting t-shirts last night at the concert. The one I remember is it was a black t-shirt, a white writing, and it said I, and it had a heart. MILFs. So that dude loves MILFs.
Milk. Yeah, me too.
No, MILF. MILF. MILFs.
Huh. Wonder what that is.
Let's see.
Keeping it family friendly. I'm sorry.
And then another one said, I'm just telling you what I saw. I'm not. And another one had a round the back image. It said, support your local whorehouse. He walked by so fast I couldn't see what the picture of it was. Harlan saw one. Harlan, what shirt did you see? I can't remember one you saw, but this was just, this was. I think twice before I would wear stuff like that. I guess does that happen when you get old?
Huh?
I don't care what people think, but I do have try to have a little respect. Casey J's, yep, the milk, that's it.
So Mark, if you're still around, I can tell you what you're doing right. Your positive feedback is stellar. Your fast shipping, great packaging, all that stuff. So you're definitely doing that stuff right.
And that's
communication with buyers. People are talking about that in his feedback, that kind of stuff.
Hey, Steve. Good morning.
That whole MILF thing didn't bring Connie back out. Huh. I thought for sure.
That's terrible.
It did bring Harlan, though.
Harlan said he saw a set of boobs that he didn't care to see. Were they on a man, Harlan? I picked you out a nice, lovely lady across the that you should go talk to, and you wouldn't do it. You were scared. But but just be prepared. You know, some of the things that are, you know, that you're doing today, you know, change with these updates. The big eBay update was not a Casey went to see Papa Roach last night. They had Falling in Reverse and Hollywood Undead with them. Their big thing was with pricing. So I want to encourage everyone that, you know, eBay has raised their prices. It's just ridiculous. I think you can make it on your own as a street vendor or something and just leave the platform.
Remind me that I got to tell you something after the chat or after the show. I'm going to write it down, but I'll still forget.
Remind Steve.
Remind Steve. I wrote that too. This could be groundbreaking information.
Oh, Lord, not groundbreaking.
Yeah.
But it's the one thing I would tell you is, you know, most of the times we find stuff so cheap. It's, you know, this was the strength of what Dusty and Eric did. I'm sure Eric still does it. Eric and Jason now do it together, but they've been close friends for a long time. Is you can't be afraid to change things and throw stuff against the wall, see what sticks. You know, it is, you know, if something's not moving, you know that how much that Seed People VHS, how much you got into it? A couple bucks. You know what? 49. You know, you want to encourage somebody to buy a new VHS. You know, would you be thrilled to get $59 for it? Probably. 25. He's got a quarter into it.
A quarter. Now, I wouldn't just go sell it. It's sealed. I mean, it's probably worth more than this did. But, you know, at least do some research on what similar types of things sell for, or even that new. Hold out for a little bit higher price, but $100 or so is probably not going to get you there if nobody's looking for it. And you should have probably took the $75 offer, but it happens, you know. I've been there too. I've turned down offers like that, thinking I have something great, and then I just keep it for a long time, and then I end up selling it really cheap.
He lowered it to 50. Hey, Mark, let us know if it sells. Be very. Does anyone have an antique store booth? I know a lot. I've got a friend here who sells at the auction with us. He's got a couple of them that he supports through yard sales and other things. He's got a different eye than what I have, but he seems to like it. I think a lot of it is what kind of merchandise is in the one, what kind of foot traffic does it get? My first cousin, I don't know if she still does them, but she had 3 or 4 in Michigan the last time I was there. And seems to really like buying through estate sales and doing that. Yes, Tamara. Everybody here should know that, Tamara, because your Facebook post that came out this time last week, actually, maybe it was Thursday. I actually read it too. I actually read it on the show. So it's a serious thing. And if you lose a loved one and you're deeply affected like that, where it feels like you could be having you need to get checked out. Tamara was very fortunate to have got herself checked out and by the right people and the medicine she needed. So we like having you around. I'm sure Tony does too. Both you guys in hearts because Tony had it. What was he in Utah when he had an episode? So Todd, did you sell a used vacuum filter? Is that what happened? There's a dog running around here. Yeah, Phil said the same thing. He lost his dad, then his wife. It can give you a serious problem. Tamara can actually tell you there's a clinical name for heartbreak. She had it in her post. I just can't remember what it was.
Broken heart syndrome.
Yeah, it's broken heart syndrome, but it actually has a clinical name.
Oh, clinical name. I missed that part. My mind is wandering because of this information I have to tell you after the show. Groundbreaking.
Oh my God, groundbreaking.
It's not that groundbreaking. It's just speculation, and that's why I won't say it in the chat.
So one interesting conversation earlier before the show. If you're an Amazon seller and conditions, don't discount like new. You have an item that, say it's a Hot Wheels car and you've got a bend in the packaging, but it's one that's worth decent money. But you go, well, damn, I can't sell this new on Amazon because, it's a hard to find car, so it would be considered collectible like new. You'll get 90% of the value of the new price and sell it just as fast. I have sold a lot of like new products. You've got a VHS or DVD that's got a tear in the, you don't buy it because it's got a tear in the plastic wrap. Look at what it's selling for like new. You'll be amazed. You could take 90%, 85%, 80% of the new price. You've got a $25 DVD. You could still get $19.95 for it. So understand item conditions, books. It is a well-known fact about selling books on Amazon that if you're competing on listing with Amazon, even if your book is new, if you list it like new with a little bit less, people are petty. They will save the dollar and buy the like new because they understand, especially on a like new book, at worst is going to have a remainder mark on it.
I cannot make an urn with my laser. It's because it can only go 2 inches thick. So anything over that I can't do. Well, now I can build something, but mostly flat surfaces.
So Brenda, so Tamara actually had suffered from broken heart syndrome. Was it last week or 10 days ago? When her mom unfortunately passed. She can describe it to you. It's a clinical condition where inflammation of the heart, which mimics a lot of the symptoms. She said she had pain in her left side or left and chest pains. And
Be right back.
You actually need. She got cath and checked out, but you actually need medicine to help bring that under control, or you can do permanent damage to your heart. She was making the comment. I think she's 100% correct. You see couples that have been together for a long, long time, and they pass very quickly, and a lot of it is attributed to the second person passing because of broken heart syndrome. Can Steve make a ring? Probably not. It has to be flat, I believe.
Water, sewers.
Hey Phil, you might want to reach out to Tamara on Facebook.
We're gonna see exactly how good Mercari sellers are. Look at the tape on this thing. It's a reused envelope. That's why they.
I was about to say
they
that
cut.
they generally do that on.
Which is a good idea. Great idea. Sure. Can I make a doorbell? Come on, people. No, I can't make a ring. No, I can't make a doorbell. I can't make a toilet. But if you guys are interested in laser things, though, look up things that people just type in laser item product or something, and then I can probably make whatever you're looking for.
The other stuff you would need a 3D printer to do.
Right. I wish I had one, but it's not in the budget, and I probably never will be. All right, let's see. This is from T. Doro. Oh. There you go. Make another light. That's actually in really good. It looks better than the pictures showed. So they'll get good feedback on Mercari.
So what do you do with the case then? I know you do the tape, but what do you do?
It goes with it. I fill it with paper so
Right.
it stays stiff. And then the light will sit, the light will sit next to it on a shelf or whatever they decide to do. I could see, this one's got some scratches on it. Right there. I could take a Sharpie probably and fill that in, but I'm not going to do it. Not on this one. I get about $36 for those things, so.
They want to know if you can make a laser with your laser.
I have tried. I can't keep. Jesus.
What in the hell?
Hold on, I'm coming. My camera fell off the. Oops, wrong way. Fell off the top of my monitor.
That was some exciting there.
And then I have these bits for my screwdriver, and they were in a thing, and they hit the floor, and now they're all over the place. I think I'll put it back where it used to be.
Steve drunk, man down. That's outstanding.
Drunk? Did somebody say I was drunk? I don't drink.
eBay sends out way too many messages about an item when you buy one. Order updates and all kinds of mess. I got to get rid of some of these things.
Some of that is the seller. They have it automated to do that. And I don't like that. I've taken everything possible. I don't want my buyers getting overwhelmed with messages. eBay sends out a message. That should be enough.
Yeah, they saw when it flipped over, you didn't have your pants on.
Well, that hurt. Don't do that. Not at 51 years old.
So has anybody in the chat, has anybody quit yet now that the fees on eBay have risen by 0.35%?
I did.
You did?
And then I started back up right away.
Has anybody opened a brick and mortar store and tried to list their items before millions of people for 12% of their sales?
I plugged my phone in because I'm recording with it, and I forgot to plug the other end in. I'm having a wonderful morning.
So Lag and Craig, they're here just for comedy because they both quit. Vintage Memories has a serious question for you.
For me?
Steve, can you do logo on wood with my green color on the letters and the circle?
Send me the logo. I'm not sure about the coloring. I mean, a laser only burns in one color, but I do paint things. It depends on the logo. Color on the letters and circle on the laser. Yeah, just send it to me and I'll look into it. I'm doing one for Scott now that he fixed his logo. I almost had it. I had a hard time with his.
0.35%. Yes, he can make sunglasses. I want something like in the 90s video, Huey Lewis in the News. I want something like that.
I'll do my best.
But it's really Brenda, pretty much a non-issue. I mean, it's 0.35% is a small number.
People don't like changes.
So I'm gonna kill your names. SotoCAD Collectibles says that helping a sports cars part-time, and he's quickly learned to struggle with brick and mortar. I don't know that people understand that enough. You know, if you open a brick and mortar store, the financial responsibility, you know, rent is just the first. You know, you carrying commercial insurance, you know, power, everything's more expensive. Was it last Thursday night or was it on this show? Somebody was telling us about how much their internet costs because they made them carry commercial insurance. I mean, commercial internet. It's
$900 or $700 or something like that. It was
$900 a month for their internet, and this is just to a building behind their house because it was commercial.
Yes, never mention to your cable company or whoever you get your internet from that you are an eBay seller. Don't do it.
No.
The first time I signed up for internet here, when I was thinking about signing up for internet, I contacted them and said something, or when I would contact them one time, something about being an eBay seller. Oh, you need business rates. And then I quickly changed the subject and didn't sign up, you know.
And called back
and then called back another time. Yes, because I know that you shouldn't do that.
How come that wall behind you is not green?
It's my fortress of solitude. I don't know. It just never has been green. It's a weird wallpaper that needs taken down. Because you know those wallpapers that they piece together, like it's all ripped and stuff. That's what that is, and it sucks. And we haven't painted over it.
I'm so disappointed that Marsha has not gotten to that room and made it green yet. You could be in your own green screen room. You know how awesome that would be.
Well, I want to put I have a giant green screen that would take up this entire room, and I want to put it up, but I need to figure out how to roll it up, so that it stays above when I'm not using it.
Timothy, the answer is yes. Amazon question: if a photo of a listing is not the same as my item, the name is the same, but not the UPC used, you're asking for trouble. Unless in the description your item fits it, and unless it's just if it's just a packaging change, it's no issue to list on the same one. Sometimes packaging changes. But it has to be just packaging. It can't be anything else. So a good example is Refresh PM. Refresh PM, everybody thought they were having manufacturing problems, and they switched from a metal tube to a plastic, and they had all kinds of issues and hurricanes. So they were gone for 2 years. But when they came back, the new listing, there was a new listing that has the new packaging and new everything. It is not just a packaging change on the outside. It is actually a packaging change on the inside, which is materially different in the way because of the inside and outside. So if it was just this packaging is blue and royal blue and we like light blue with this little picture, that's fine. You can list on the same listing. But anything else, I'd be very, very leery. The other thing is if you've got items like that, chances are if you search for instead of by UPC but by the name, you'll find other listings. There might be a listing that's more correct. Brenda, thank you so much. Just because.
I don't have anything to add to that, but we've come up across that quite a few times where the packaging, it's just a packaging change. But even then, it makes me a little nervous because I always wonder if the customer is going to think something because the picture's different than the packaging. So
yeah, that's what Roman's saying. You know, remember you've got so many customers that buy based on only what they see. They don't read. They barely read the title. They definitely don't read descriptions. They don't read bullet points. Case in point, you know, the lady who was pissed off at me because of cat food a few weeks ago, when in the title it says 3.5 pound bag. In the description and everything, it's 1 bag cat food. And she was mad about the price you pay for the small bag. I'm like,
people buy by photos anymore. Even eBay's app, you have to click on something extra just to read the description. And I've noticed, I've been going through my YouTube analytics, and I'm sure it's the same for every platform, eBay, Amazon, Facebook, whatever. People are shopping and viewing by mobile nowadays. It's just the way things are going. And so they're not seeing everything.
correct.
I don't. I shop on the computer. But it's because I can see everything and I can read the descriptions.
Hey, Jennifer, what's up?
So I've been taken to putting things in the titles nowadays that normally I would have advised against in the past, like new, the word new, and the words tested. I put them in the titles nowadays because I know that's how people are finding things, and they're not looking as much farther.
So Timothy, the one thing I would tell you, he said he looked it up by name and UPC. The title is the only thing that matches your item. I would tell you that's probably a hijack listing. That's what it sounds
Probably.
like. It sounds like somebody has taken that listing and used it for their whatever. Will be my guess, and they just didn't finish it or couldn't get the title changed. But that's what it sounds like. It sounds like somebody is screwed with the listing.
Duplex scanner, meaning like the postcard type scanners? Is that what he's asking for?
Yeah.
I have one that I might want to sell. But I'll just throw it up on eBay if I decide to. I don't do the postcards as much as I thought. I made enough money to pay for the scanner, and that's about it. But then if I sell it, then I'll want it.
So, Mr. Sadie, I would 100% agree with you. I always take a picture. The stock photo to me tells me that's a drop shipper, and I don't buy it. Simple as that.
Ron, go to marketing under your my eBay selling marketing, and it'll be promotions, and then you'll find sales there.
Yeah, a couple of them were hijacked. I found the item on eBay, but sold in UK only. Sounds like you need to make an eBay listing or an eBay and an Amazon listing. And then if I don't take my own picture, how can I put a foot in there? You know, you get extra sales if you put your feet in the picture.
Or because Landshark Picker's in there, how do I put my dirty fingernails in the picture?
Damn right. You know, I personally think people, you know, want to see the actual item. You know, there are a lot of people that those perfect, you know, generic pictures. For some part, I just don't trust them.
If somebody's selling this used, I want to see the actual item because I need to see the condition. If using a stock picture and people do use a stock picture for something like that, that's not a good idea.
So Brenda wants to know what's a hijack listing. That's a good question. I just assume I forget that I need to tell everybody. So a hijack listing, Brenda. So say I am selling this mouse right here. And this mouse on Amazon has a great sales rank. You know, this is a Logitech mouse. It's probably in the top 1% easy. So what if I want to sell, you know, this camera, but there's no listing for the camera, but I want to take advantage of the fact that this has a high rank and ends up in search. So I would go in, take the pictures of the camera, put it in place of this one on the same list, change everything in the listing to show camera, except for, I'll miss a few parts here or there, but now the listing comes up. The original listing was for this. All the information on the listing is for this, but you're getting this.
And what they're really doing is trying to steal all the reviews and
stuff, because they want that they want something, because most people will see a product, and look at it and go, man, that's got 1,000 reviews. It's 4.9 out of 1,000. So this is a good one. What Chinese sellers do this a lot, if they've got a generic product, instead of being, here's a good one. Instead of being an iPod, maybe they've got an ePod and it doesn't have a little apple on the back. Maybe it's got a carrot with an E on it. And they want you to know how good of a MP3 player this is, just so they would take over. So if you'd ever go down and look and read the reviews, most people don't read the reviews. They look at it and trust the number. You go down there and go, this mouse works great on a camera listing.
Hey, Robin, I got your logo. I'll email you with some questions that I might have.
So it's not an eBay problem. eBay doesn't have that problem. This is a strictly Amazon, because you just make your own listings on eBay. Everybody's on Amazon. Everybody's on one listing, supposedly on the same listing, and so that means a listing has. You got to realize an Amazon listing. Go look for something. Go search for this mouse right now. The top of the Google search is going to be Amazon. Amazon's listings are SEO compliant. They are made to move up in search and especially for products and for sales. Let's just look at. We'll see where it comes up. Logitech. Trackball. Nice. Logitech is first, but on the
Gotcha, Tim.
ads for shopping, Amazon is first. Logitech. So Amazon shows up fifth on Google search on this thing, and first in the shopping search, because their listings are designed to if you're looking for something, anything at all, to direct you back to Amazon. That everything they do and everything in their rules is don't direct anybody off the platform, and they reward you like, I'm an Amazon influencer. They reward you for directing people to the platform. So a listing doesn't change. It's not like an eBay listing. If you delete an eBay listing and start over, no big deal. You delete an Amazon listing, you take everybody selling this product off of Amazon. So it affects a lot of sellers. Hey, Mike, thanks for showing up today, buddy. Yeah, don't be a bum. Hit the thumb.
If people can take it, Brenda, if people can take advantage of anything, they will. And it's usually bad actors from other countries, but I'm sure there are some people here involved.
There are just as many, people. I think Turkey's kind of taking a double hit right now. If you look at Ed's group on eBay seller group on Amazon has gone after a lot of drop shippers out of Turkey, and then a lot of prayers out for Turkey. Man, the devastation from the earthquakes is, man, it's to watch buildings fall that's crazy, and knowing that the death toll is going to be crazy until they dig people out. But there are just as many actors in this country who would try to take advantage of your other company. We just see the Chinese a lot because they're the easiest ones, because they're broken English and their craziness. They're easier to catch.
Yeah, I think here's the problem though, with ChatGPT and programs like that, their English is going to get a hell of a lot better, because they're just going to use those programs to write their descriptions now and things like that. So your Nigerian princes are going to sound a lot more American from here on out.
Mr. Sadie, people have said that for a lot of years, and Amazon was going to trend out. remember they make a good majority of their money on their Amazon Web Services, AWS. They are I believe the largest. Correct me if I'm wrong. The largest hosting web services in I know in the U.S., probably in the world. A lot of traffic goes through AWS. A lot of the websites you use are hosted and maintained and stuff through AWS. But I can't imagine, that they still built everything they have through selling. If they trend out of selling products, they will because look at the margins they get. I mean, where's the margin at dealing with websites or products at their rock bottom prices? They have plenty of people that want to sell things on their platform and we have proven that we can provide a lot of the same volume and same inventory. Phil, am I supposed to sell your phone number? Is that what I'm doing?
Is it worth anything?
They're building out their own transportation system. They're going to be one of the largest packaging companies in the world before too long. Is it weird that I don't see? So I watch all these crash videos. I'm kind of obsessed with watching a couple of them a day. They're like 6 or 7 minutes on YouTube. You see a bunch of Amazon trucks running into everything. You don't ever see UPS trucks running. The one I saw one yesterday that the guy's pulling up, backing up down the street, and backs right into like 2 cars. One of them, a lady got out of the out of the Amazon truck and didn't put it in park, and she's running down chasing it till it hits another car. Yeah.
The deal with that is that UPS hires their drivers, and Amazon contracts that out to other companies, and
Right.
so UPS is probably way more strict on who they hire.
Yeah, they also have quite a bit of rules about the way you can't turn left and all the things
Or
they
only
do.
turn left, isn't it? I don't remember.
No, they don't make left turns. It's much slower to make left turns than the wasting gas.
That's right. Yeah, because my driver only comes right. Yeah.
They don't make left turns. Oh yeah, lag. You're correct. Yeah, FedEx is aren't they more of a franchise model? Don't they franchise or you buy route? Are they independent contractors buying routes or franchises that own certain?
I don't know all that stuff. No, that's a question for Jacob King.
Yeah, he has a couple brothers that work for UPS. Amazon is having trouble with their grocery store business. Interesting.
Amazon can't win at everything. They win at a lot of things, but
yeah, most medicines come from Canada. There are quite a few of them that come from China. I think more of them will be coming back here. The problems, my blood pressure medicine, the Chinese are, who knows what was in it, but it got recalled and they had to change to a different prescription. Yeah, the Fire Phone, it was awesome. I had 2 or 3 Fire Phones, so the deal with the Fire Phone was if you bought the Fire Phone, you got a free year of Amazon Prime. And so the way you did it was you bought the Fire Phone because you could stack up years of service. And so you buy 2 or 3 phones and get the Prime for 2 or 3 years, and then you sell the phones without the Prime on eBay. That was a good deal. I think I covered 3 years of our Amazon Prime for I think I ended up averaging like $20 a year for those. So it was like $60, covered 3 years of Prime. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. My blood pressure medicine, now that I mention it, is causing me to go to the restroom. Thanks everybody for joining us, man. 118 people this late in the show, man. I do appreciate it. We did not take that for granted. We appreciate that you trust us to try to give you the right answers and to, and try not to steer you wrong. If we don't know something, I'll be the first to admit, hey, I don't know. So
I don't know jack crap.
Steve's here for comic relief.
That's it. It's good to know vintage Philly PA. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it was. The show was kind of lagging, and he knocked the camera over. That was a good one. That was a good comedy, a slapstick comedy there. And we've got some cool links down in the chat if you're looking to join the course. If you really want to learn a lot, everything I've had to say about Amazon and more. RA is an RA class. It links down there. Supply Hut boxes. All kinds of fun stuff down there. What else is down there? I don't even know. Check out the links. Help support the channel. I'd appreciate it. See you guys. See you tomorrow night. We'll do this again tomorrow night. Maybe we'll bring some more questions. I appreciate the questions today. They were awesome. Roll Tide.
Sweetwater out.
If you just put it on your thing, Sweetwater Legend, you still have to say it.